Hey, Zach here from Frontenac Outfitters Canoe and Kayak Center. Today, we are looking at the reintroduced Jackson Kayaks Big Rig FD. So this was a popular boat. I don't know, I don't want to say back in the day because it wasn't that long ago that they had it, but they took it off the list. They came out with the new drive system, the Mark IV drive system. And then this year for 2024, they have relaunched it with the new Mark IV drive and a few little tweaks and improvements just to make the whole experience of the Big Rig a better experience in all. I haven't had a chance to get this particular version on the water yet, but I can't wait for some on-water testing and reporting. So the Big Rig comes in at 13 feet, 3 inches, I believe. So just over 13 feet, 40 inches wide. So it's quite the tank. What that lends itself to is a massive capacity. Like this thing, I think rates at about 550 pounds total capacity. So if you're a big guy, or you want to take a lot of stuff, if you're doing some camping with the fishing kayak, like this is going to be a big contender for sure. With the new drive system, it's faster, it's smoother, and just all around a better experience. So as always, let's have a look at some of the fine details on it. We'll start at the bow, work our way back to the end. We have our comfort grip handle here, so good heavy duty handle to be able to lift and move the kayak around. Moving back, we've got our hatch covers with the paddle holder. One of the upgrades here was they've moved to a rubberized paddle holder here, which we see on some of their newer model boats. Cool upgrade, looks good, works well. It's not going to fray and wear out, I think, like the other one may have. This one you should see a lot more durability out of. The hatch is really well designed. We've got a couple of channels here, so any water coming over onto the bow should drain out through the sides there and let minimal into the hatch. Hatches are never going to be 100% waterproof. It's just the nature of them. Water is, notorious to be able to get in through the tiniest little bit of cracks, but because the way this whole hatch system is molded, it does a really good job of deflecting the water, channelizing it, and getting it out of the way. The hatch cover does have a nice rubber gasket on here, again, to kind of create a nice seal to keep this as watertight as possible. On the inside, we have the removable tray. We've got a couple of goodies in here we'll talk about in a second. So nice deep tray, fully removable, throw whatever you want in there, some extra gear, some clothes, raincoat, that type of thing. Inside, it is a monstrous cavern of space. Again, I love camping. I love kayak fishing and camping, combining the two together, heading out to a camp. This boat here is going to supply me with a ton of space to pack the kayak inside and not have to worry about, weight considerations for the most part, and just a ton of volume to get, tents, tarps, dry bags, that type of thing inside of the kayak and not have it up on top where it can maybe create a little more instability, but also keep it protected. Couple of nice heavy duty latches here, locks everything down. You also notice on the front here, it's really clean. There's no bungees or anything, to tie things down. This is a fishing machine. So the idea is your fishing hooks aren't going to get caught on bungees, which can be, not a huge disaster, but those little barbs, they hook onto a bungee and they can be a real pain in the butt to get out. Coming back onto this side here, we've got some little humps here, which is a neat little feature. These are for staging rods. So you can just kind of set them there. It's going to keep them up out of the way and help prevent them from wanting to slide off and just keep them kind of under control. This little pin here, you could use for a stand assist strap. So you can get a strap that loops into there and you basically just grab a hold of it to help stand yourself up. Vice versa, you can use it to kind of hold on to while you sit yourself down, just so you don't come crashing down on the boat and maybe lose your balance. On the sides here, they've done some small tweaks to the rod trough, as they like to call it. So on each side, we've got 4 rod tubes to protect the tips, to slide them in, and then coming back to here, a couple of adjustable rod trays so that you can slide these to get the butts of your rod in place, and the rest of the rod is going to stay in this tube, kind of out of the way of the steering system, and into the rod tube holders there. So one of the big upgrades was the Mark IV drive. It's been out for a couple years now. It has proven itself. It's incredibly efficient. It's been incredibly reliable. It's super smooth, and it is faster than the old drive. So I haven't had a chance to test pedal this guy just yet, but reports from friends down south, in the southern US where this has been out for a few months now are all good things. The Big Rig is a rocket ship. It's faster than the old version. And for such a big boat, I think that's awesome. It's all good things. The Mark IV drive is a really slick system, super easy to remove. So normally we've got a couple in our goodie bag here. Well, we'll talk about that. There's a couple extra parts. So we've got a couple extra, parts that you might need for the coupling itself. It does not come with an extra prop, but you can purchase those separately. But it has an extra shear pin, spider coupling, and then our T-bolts here, which actually would mount into here to hold the drive system down when it's in use. When not in use, you would just remove those 2 T-bolts and the whole system just lifts off, and you're going to save yourself probably at least 15 pounds, whatever this guy's worth. So when you're transporting the boat or storing it, best to take this off, store it somewhere safe, and save yourself some weight. Putting the system back in, you just want to line up your spider coupling and your drive coupling right here. Have a look at where the gap is and just gently kind of slide it down into place. And everything should kind of mount up nice and flush. And then you can drop your drive when you're in the water and away you go. So a couple of significant upgrades from the Mark IV was that they've moved from a gear system to a belt-driven system. So it's much quieter and a lot more efficient. And I mean, time will tell, obviously, in the long run, how long these belts last for, but they are designed for significant amount of use before any kind of belt replacement will be needed. The other cool thing with the flex drive system, there isn't really anything else quite like it on the market, is it does have that auto kick-up feature. So if you're find yourself pedaling along in some water and you maybe come into a shoal or something shallow, a log, whatever, that drive will take the impact and kick itself up, preventing itself from, causing any major serious damage. Hopefully. I mean, is there still a chance? Absolutely. But the idea is that is going to impact, pull itself up automatically. And from here, you can easily inspect the propeller, make sure there's no damage. If you need to clean out any weeds, that type of thing, you've got your little trap door right here, making it super easy and convenient while you're out on the water. So on this side of the kayak, we have a through hull access wiring accessory port. So if you have a battery mounted in here, we have access here with a little grommet pre-installed so that you can, run it to whatever, some electronics that you may be using, that type of thing. So pretty convenient. You don't have to drill any holes out of the box to have access to some wiring capabilities. Another nice feature, we have the padded deck lining. So one, it gives a little bit of cushioning, so comfort. If you're just resting your feet there, it's not on the plastic. It also provides some sound dampening. If you're moving things around, dropping lures, that type of thing, it's not echoing through the water and potentially spooking fish. And it looks really good. Tons of gear track. You see, we've got the Yakutak Omega rod holder on here. This comes standard with this particular kayak, so that's a nice little feature. So including the Omega rod holder, we have 7 spots where we can store rods. We've got a couple up here in the rod troughs. We've got the Omega rod holder, and we haven't got to yet, but we've got a couple of flush mount ones in the back. Also included in our little goodie bag is a couple of clips for paddle holders. And if you look beside our side handles here, there's a couple of pre-mounted screws. So you would just pull those out. Depending which side you want to put them on, you could install your paddle clip and you have a paddle holder coming with it, which for a pedal drive kayak, having a separate paddle holder is awesome because it's out of the way. You have to have a paddle with you in case something happens to the drive, whatever you want, or you're in shallow water, you want to make sure you have a paddle with you. In a lot of places, it's the law anyway. Another new feature is they've upgraded to the Jackson Easy high-low seating system. I mean, it's great. It's nice, breathable material, comfortable. And I mean, on the water, you can just slide this thing up into a higher position, get yourself down into a lower position, whatever your preference is. And the seat also super easy to remove. Just pop it out through those holes. And again, now we've saved ourselves another, probably 10 pounds of weight for transportation and storage. Adjusting the trim or leg length for the kayak to get your feet on the pedals properly, super simple. You're just going to adjust these 2 T-bolts right here, just loosen them off a bit. And now this whole system's going to slide in that track. So if you can get it, right up close to it and slide it all the way back and then even bring it up into that high position, get yourself even a little bit further back if needed. Dual rudder control. This is using like the fiberglass rods. It's a really good system. I like it a lot, similar to what you would find on the Jackson Bite. I really like this system. It's pretty foolproof. It works really well. It's on both sides. So whether you're right or left, or you want to, be able to utilize both sides, you can totally do that. Really smooth operating. We'll show you what the rudder looks like in a second. Been really happy with it. It's just simple, works well. Our rod stagers, as you can see these guys here, we've got one on each side. these guys here going to hold the butt of your rod as you sew them up into those rod tubes up front. They are adjustable. They come off, whatever you want to do. As we come in here behind the cockpit, we've got some other features that are pretty cool to talk about. So right along the back, again, we've got more gear track. If you've seen the NAR or looked at the NAR, some of the accessories included with that boat are actually available for purchase separately, including the multi-box, which is a really unique system. Can give you behind the seat storage in this handy little tackle box type thing that you can just add a ton of gear into and have it really close at hand. So the adapters will fit on this guy perfectly. Rod holders, Visi flag, whatever. So lots of gear track in behind the seat. Our 2 integrated rod holders, which we had talked about, right behind the seat. And then these little divots here, pretty neat if you're into fly fishing. These are designed to hold that fly rod reel, hold the fly rod reel right here, and then you've got your secure right here, so you can kind of mount the rod down there without risk of losing it. In the rear tank well here, we've got bungee to, tie stuff down if you've got a black pack or a box that you want to have secured in here. The bungees just clip off here. They are fully adjustable. You can just loosen these guys off, slide them around as you need to get the perfect setup wherever you want it. Lots of drainage. We've got some scupper holes here, one under the seat there. It is designed to, accommodate most modern oversized transducers. So, it shouldn't have any problem installing electronics and that type of thing on this particular kayak. Coming back, we've got our rear storage well and also access to our rudder control. So this guy opens up here. On this particular setup, we have the gasket around the opening here. Quite a bit of room, again, on the inside of here to, put in some dry bags, some more camping gear. Really a lot of space to be able to utilize on this kayak. Definitely harder to get things down into the middle of the boat. Can it be done? Yes. Some tricks that I've done is, I get some longer dry bags to slide in there so I can still reach them. Or you can just tie, a piece of paracord or rope or something, and you can shove that dry bag in there, leave the rope hanging out here so you can just kind of haul it back out after, and you've got easy access to your gear. Rudder system here, this is kind of the end of the rudder system. So you've got your fiberglass poles that make connection to our pivoting section here that actually dictates which way the rudder is turning. Super easy to remove. We've got a little detent pin here, and our rudder just comes out like that. So great for, again, transportation, storage, that type of thing, so you don't risk losing your rudder. Do take care when you're installing it that you get that rudder installed all the way into that little bit of housing there, and your pin slides all the way through, and then just give it a check that you don't, that way your rudder doesn't fall out while you're out on the water. Don't ask me how I know. At the very back, we've got kind of this, carry handle and also the 4-bolt pattern, which we'll find on a lot of Jackson kayaks. You know what that is just convenience for installing a micro pole, a powered micro pole, a torpedo style system, trolling motor, any of those units that accept that 4-bolt pattern. Really convenient place to be able to rig things up on the stern of the kayak. This has a great hull design on it. Has kind of like this, multi-chine hull, with lots of flow pattern through it. A great design around the scupper holes to, reduce noise, that kind of that gurgling noise you get from scupper holes, and minimize the amount of drag you're getting on it. And it creates a really efficient version of this kayak combined with the new flex drive system. Overall, I think this kayak is really good for anyone, really. I mean, if you're looking to get into some camping, tournament fishing, non-tournament fishing, probably the only place this thing wouldn't be really suitable for is, really big offshore fishing. It's just not really designed for that. Something like the NAR is going to be more compatible for that. But lazy rivers, kind of any of the lakes that we see in southern Ontario, including Lake Ontario to a certain degree, this is going to be a fabulous kayak to be able to serve those purposes. With its maximum capacity sitting around 550 pounds, as you can tell, this is going to be a really good kayak for a bigger paddler. If you're worried about something that's going to be stable enough, the big rig is going to be the answer for that. For more information, you can have a look at it on the website, frontenacoutfitters.com. If you want to come and test paddle it, we do test paddling 7 days a week in season. If you have any questions, give us a call or send us an email. As always, thanks a lot for watching.